Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Nigerian. In today's video, what on earth is going on in the Gambia? This week has been absolute turmoil. We have had allegations being thrown around in this tiny West African country. We have blaxit, GIBBI, Njaya, TAYTAY, KK and all the rest of the usual suspects all making accusations against each other. But are any of those accusations true? Well, we have so many accusations. I've selected just a few. We're going to go through them and we're going to try and find out whether there is any validity to these accusations. Before we get into it, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description. I've got another question for you. Does body count matter? That is the question that we try to answer in the next video on the new family vlogging channel, I. The link to the channel is also in the description. So let's start with the first accusation, TAYTAY. TAYTAY and the dog trainer.
So I hired a Gambian dog trainer. Wait, sister, didn't you email me about the Gambian dog trainer? Sister, I'm so happy you never called him because he killed Stella. He killed Max. I sent him money and the boy never, ever took my dog to the vet. Y'all, it's a mess. I can't really talk about it, but all I'm going to say is the damn vet, the doctor at the vet, want to talk to his ass because he said Max was never here. This dog named Max is 7 months. I said, well, I'll be damned. But he has other dogs. So evidently he took the money and he took his dogs and he let my Max die.
So TAYTAY has recently gone back to the United States, and clearly it looks like she had a good time over there. She went back there to recuperate and to get herself refreshed so she could come back to the Gambia so she could be in a better position to pick a fight, seemingly. But one of the first things that TAYTAY did after her house got burgled was to get 2 dogs. So she has 2 dogs that helps guard her current premises. So when she went back to the United States, she had to give the dogs to somebody to take care of. She went and found a dog trainer. For a fee, this dog trainer took the dogs in and took care of the dogs whilst TAYTAY was away in the United States of America. When TAYTAY came back, all hell broke loose because one of the dogs had passed away due to an unspecified mystery illness. TAYTAY, of course, was livid. These dogs are her life. They will sacrifice their lives if need be, if it means keeping her safe. So, of course, she has grown attached to these 2 dogs. Now there is only 1 dog. So is there any validity in what she's saying? You know, we don't have any evidence to suggest that something bad happened, but listen, I would never leave my dog with a dog sitter. And it's just because, for me, my dog is like, this may be a horrible example to you guys, but my dog is like my children. I would just leave my dog with anybody. You know, you leave your dog with somebody who you know is going to take care of your dog like you would leave your children with somebody. You know, it's almost the same. It is, because, you know, our dog is, we have an attachment with our dog too. So why would you do that? TAYTAY, of course, was in a hard situation. She had to do something. So is it likely that the dog trainers did something? I think it's absolutely likely that the dog trainers have done something. You got to remember, there isn't many organizations in the Gambia to oversee small businesses like this, so you can't just check up and see whether somebody is good at something online. You have to ask your friends, and the guys in the Gambia, if you're asking somebody in the Gambia, they're just going to refer you to somebody they know or to one of their family members, regardless of whether they are good at their job or not. So I think it's likely that TAYTAY just got a bad deal here and got mixed up with the wrong person. Now, there was other rumours flying around that blaxit had something to do with it, but there is absolutely no evidence to suggest that she did. But if blaxit was in that situation, would she? I think definitely so. Shante also gave these guys money to buy food for her dogs. I can't understand why you would do something like that. If it were me, I would just bought the dog the food that the dog needed for that period of time. And you can leave that there for your dog to make sure that your dog has all the food it needs until it comes back. You wouldn't give somebody you don't really know that well money. And there is no real excuse for this. I'm not sure why TAYTAY would have done something like this. She's been in the Gambia for long enough. So to answer this one, I think that TAYTAY is telling the truth on this one. Second allegation is from blaxit, and it's an allegation against TAYTAY, and you guys are not going to believe this allegation. So at some point last week, Juliet had made a video. It was a 3-minute video. She didn't keep it up for very long, but in that video, she made an accusation which sort of blew my mind.
I'm gonna keep calling you out, Juliet, because you'll never say my name. You did a video for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you punk ass bitch.
She accused Adrian of sleeping with TAYTAY. Yes, she actually accused him of doing this. And I'm not sure why she would have done this. It sounds like desperation, and there is absolutely no evidence, because she didn't offer any evidence. If you had evidence, right, you would have offered it to people. You wouldn't have just made the accusation and then let it fly. If you would have made the accusation online, you would have presented the people that were listening to your video some evidence. She didn't do that. So I think in this case, she is lying. I don't think she's telling the truth. I think she is trying to stir the boat for a pending custodial battle for the children and for the house. So this one definitely debunked. Third one is back to TAYTAY, and TAYTAY had a lot to say during a live. TAYTAY had accused GIBBI Njaya of starting an altercation outside a bar.
So I confronted him. You telling people, oh, I don't want no problems. I'm going to get my food and I'm going to leave. I said, yeah, get the F out of here. I'm outside. He walks inside. There's 2 videos. One with him inside with his friend. The other one is outside. I don't know. He threatened me. So I'm on the phone with the guy. My face hurt. I think my head hit the steps. No matter how well I can fight, no matter how much I work out, I still can't beat a man.
So as you can see, she is clearly slightly intoxicated. She's actually drinking alcohol during the live. And you can tell that she's a bit rough around the edges. But it does look like she has had a bit of argy-bargy. There's no bruises, so to speak, or anything like that. There's no blood, but you can tell that she has been in a situation at some point earlier that evening. Now, the good thing about this particular accusation is that we have video evidence, CCTV footage from outside of that particular bar. So take a look at this.
No, serious. You talk shit on my family. Oh, Java. One more thing, Java. We're hard of it. Kill him up, boy. Kill him up, boy.
So there's a few things that stand out in this video. Okay, so you can see Mr. Njaya, you can see that clearly he makes a go for TAYTAY. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like at first. But of course, there was extenuating circumstances leading up to what Mr. Njaya did. I'm not making excuses for him, right? But you can see him lunge. He makes a lunge for TAYTAY. From the looks of the video, when I slow it down, it doesn't look like he's actually trying to make physical contact with her. It looks like he's trying to grab her phone, which he eventually does, that he takes and then destroys it by smashing it on the floor. Clearly, there was also a problem with Mr. Njaya because he walked into the place. He didn't have a problem. TAYTAY looks like she went after him, started speaking to him, started trying to agitate the situation. She was probably out that night, which means she was probably intoxicated that night too. This is a difficult one to try and explain because yes, there was a bit of an altercation, but I don't think that Mr. Njaya actually made any physical contact with TAYTAY. If you look at the video very carefully, it doesn't look like he actually made physical contact with her. It looks like he lunged for the phone. She reeled back, and in reeling back, she fell down on the floor. Okay, it doesn't look like he struck her and she fell on the floor. That isn't what happened if you look at this video. It looks like he leapt for her phone, managed to get her phone, and she was on the floor whilst this was all happening. Okay, and he managed to successfully retrieve her phone and destroy it. Unfortunately, this does not exonerate Mr. Njaya. Clearly, he throws a bottle at TAYTAY. That is assault. He then afterwards takes her phone. That is theft. Okay, that's theft of someone's property. He then slams that phone onto the ground. That is criminal damage. Those 3 charges straight away. That is caught on video. So I'm going to give my personal opinion on this, but you can see the video for yourself. What do you think? Do you think that Mr. Njaya actually went for her and something actually happened? Can you see something that I can't see on the video? Let me know in the comment section below. It'd be really good to see your opinion on that one. But I personally don't think Mr. Njaya made physical contact with her. It doesn't look like he actually struck at any point and he made any physical contact in that way. So I think Mr. Njaya may be very lucky on this occasion. There is no excuse for grabbing that phone off TAYTAY. So this is a bad situation for Mr. Njaya because I mean, the proof is in the pudding, okay? The police are going to be able to see this video and it doesn't look good for him in that way. So who's telling the truth in this situation, Mr. Njaya or TAYTAY? I actually think Mr. Njaya has a very good point here from my perspective. But I think the problem he's going to have is that it looks like on the video that he is reaching to do something else other than to take her phone. And I think that the police and the courts, of course, and the judge are the way that they interpret it is going to be more important than what me and what you think. So I think that could be a problem, and I think that if TAYTAY gets herself a very good lawyer, they could make sure that they bend this video to look like Mr. Njaya was a person at fault in this one and that he did something other than take her phone. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to stay neutral on this one. Number 3 is TAYTAY once again. No. Number 4, it's TAYTAY once again. And I think we've heard this accusation before. The accusation that KWESI Boyd had made advances on TAYTAY first night she had landed in the Gambia. We've had a lot of problems with men having to fight for their rights really in situations like this, because if you don't have any evidence, normally here in the West, courts will always bend towards what the female had said. I'm not sure why TAYTAY is bringing this back up. The authorities in the Gambia aren't going to do anything towards KWESI for this one. But in today's video, we are here in the court of public opinion, and I think we need to take a look at the entire situation and ask ourselves, did this really happen? I think that I've got to be careful here because I don't like making accusations like this, but KWESI Boyd has been accused of doing multiple things. KWESI Boyd is the R. Kelly of the Gambia. He has multiple wives. I don't know why you would need multiple wives. We've grown up in the West like we didn't need multiple wives. Do you need multiple wives? Why? Is one not good enough? Have you not found one which is good enough for you? There were also accusations flying around that some of the girls in his harem were underage. Could there be any validity in what TAYTAY is saying? I think there could be, but it would be extremely tough for her to prove that that was right. KWESI Boyd knows he's not a bad looking young man, and he knows that he can use his looks to go after women, and he's probably done so in the past to get whatever he has needed. It looks like that he's tried to sort of swoon TAYTAY so she would give him some money as soon as she got there. And it looks like it worked, because apparently she handed over quite a large quantity of money to him. So I think that there can be validity in what she is saying in this one. But once again, there's no proof. So yeah, this one has not been debunked. We're going to say that this one is false. Now, is Marley Morris stuck up? That's a good one. So we'll call this number 5. Is Marley Morris arrogant? I would say probably so. I would say that he's probably the kind of person to talk down to people in the Gambia. I would say that this is probably a big reason why some people even go to the Gambia, especially some British people, okay? And they're giving us a bad name, okay? But you got to look at it from this perspective. These are people who were brought up with some of the snobbiest, some of the most arrogant people on the entire planet. And they have developed that mindset. And all of a sudden they've gone to the Gambia and they're earning a pretty penny themselves. And they see themselves as being de facto posh people inside this environment, status seeking social climbers. And they have managed to get up that ladder, and it feels good. And sometimes that arrogance can get to you, especially if you do not remain humble. Blaxit and Marley Morris are godless people. And this is a big problem when you go to the Gambia. If you're a godless person, then who else do you have to answer to? Exactly. No one. So I have a feeling that what she's saying about Marley Morris and Juliet being stuck up and arrogant and talking down to people, I'm going to say that this one is probably true. Okay guys, so those are just a few of the accusations being thrown around today. Regardless of what has happened, I think that TAYTAY is not representative of the Repat community, and the people that she's actually talking about also, they're not representative of the Repat community, especially the British Repat community. Although you could say that a lot of Jamaicans, especially British Jamaicans, can tend to be a little, I don't know, snobbish. I would even say that some proper Jamaicans can be like that too. Majority of Jamaicans are not like that though. People who are really milking this situation for everything it's worth and making us look terrible at the same time. This is a message to TAYTAY. Please, please be careful. If I was you, I would probably pack my bags and take a leave of absence from the Gambia. This is not because the people there are dangerous, because they are not. It's because I think you may be endangering yourself. Acting the way you are acting in the United States would be totally fine. But here in the Gambia, if you agitate somebody too much, if you push that person to that limit, they will react in a way which you will not like. And it's unlikely that you're going to be able to stop that person. You are not a man, okay? I don't know why women fight men like this. You're not men. They will always have the advantage on you. To my Gambian brothers and sisters, I would like to say I am really, really sorry. I apologize wholeheartedly, unreservedly for this mess. It's making us look so terrible, and I know for a fact that people like Blaxit and TAYTAY, these people are not going to apologize. They don't care. Keep your fingers crossed, pray to God, and let's hope that these people can change eventually. Until the next time, please think twice to our bit.